The Port of LA really is a piece of the city of Los Angeles as far as what our political jurisdiction is, but it's also part of the fiber of the Southern California community. So 7,500 acres of port property in the Port District, 43 miles of waterfront, and we comprise really 48% of national commerce coming through our gates.
The Los Angeles Port Police operates here in the Port of Los Angeles on a 24/7 basis and uses technology such as the Threat Detection Center, as well as normal law enforcement components, investigative patrol, and other surveillance units that are used to protect the port and secure the critical infrastructure. The Port Police is somewhat of a specialized unit. We have the normal patrol division, we have a training section, investigative and intelligence section, tactical planning, homeland security, fiscal operations, and then also criminal task forces that are operated by federal agencies and other law enforcement organizations.
The Port of Los Angeles is basically like a small city. In our port we have recreational areas, commercial areas, industrial areas. Our officers respond to all your generic law enforcement calls for service. They might be dealing with a domestic violence issue in a marina, or they might be dealing with a commercial burglary. They could be out at the beach looking for a lost child. So they deal with all your general run-of-the-mill law enforcement type situations. And then on top of that, we add in the maritime component where they're required to go out on patrol on the water and engage the public.
We're one of the few agencies in the nation that has a dedicated 24-hour Marine unit. We have officers on boats 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In waterborne and field services, we have several subunits, patrol, motorcycles, motors, canine. We have a Marine unit, dive unit, sea marshals, bicycle patrol, and community relations. When they are about to do an operation in the port, they call upon Waterborne and Field Services Division to provide assets on the water and on land. Canines to help them when they do entries on land, canines to help them when they do entries and boardings on the water, as well as our boat assets to help them with their waterside enforcement as well. We do joint boardings with the U.S. Coast Guard, preventing things like narcotic smuggling, human smuggling, and dangerous weapons. We have a full-time dive team here that inspects critical infrastructure subsurface, make sure that ships can come in and out without going over any suspicious items or dangerous or hazardous items.
Our divers typically do critical infrastructure, which would be anywhere from searching vessels of high interest, pier sweeps, any type of hull sweep. I think we're a critical component in not only the Port Police, but the Port of Los Angeles. Part of our existence is a resiliency and mitigation plan for the port. We do side sonar, and that helps if there is some type of navigational hazard or potential threat to the port. We safeguard our waterways, we do mapping of the sea bottom, and we do public safety diving, which is evidence recovery, and any type of underwater crime scene investigation.
In tactical planning, one of the common things that we run across is the radiological issues. Sometimes we have spills that happen, off of the various cargo ships, and we go in and we investigate those. When we have an event, we deploy set package of vehicles, which includes our intercommunication operability vehicle. If it's a tactical situation that requires it, we have an armored vehicle that we actually use, and then we have our command post vehicle. We're always on the cutting edge of interoperability between our almost 400 cameras that we currently have, expanding, reaching into the city of Los Angeles and the city of Long Beach, and connecting all of our cameras together to give us a full picture of our operating environment, which allows us to respond accordingly.
Port Police Operations Center is designed and established not only for the Port Police, but to bring in other allied agencies in the event of a problem. The technology in the Operations Center links to the Threat Detection Center into our vast camera system of over 700 cameras throughout the port complex, and ties into other databases within the city, state, and the nation.
The biggest challenge, I'd say on a macro level here at the LA Port Police, would be preventing a terrorist attack, because we don't know how, when, or where it's going to occur. We take all the leads in from the 7-county region. We provide a workup into an investigative package for the FBI's Counterterrorism Squad, which is ultimately worked by our Joint Terrorism Task Force. The Port Police has a multitude of specialized task forces within our Investigations and Intelligence Division. They handle illegal immigration and drug trafficking, human smuggling. So much cargo comes in and out of the Port of Los Angeles on a daily basis. Any type of interruption to our operations would be devastating to our economy.
A big key of being successful in this type of policing is understanding the impact we have both on our region, certainly on our city, our state, but there's an impact here to the nation and also to the global supply chain. It's more than just picking up a DUI or responding to a family dispute. It's making sure that the supply chain infrastructure is secure. That affects public confidence, that affects our commerce. The economics of keeping our nation in balance is just as much a part of this job of making sure that there's no one out to rob somebody on the streets.